Hello everyone, welcome to my September bullet journal setup. This month's setup is a little less artsy and a little more minimalistic in comparison to some of the other setups I have done in the past. I spent the most time on the cover page and I'm not in love with it, but this little painting allowed me to release some stress, and not worrying about making everything perfect is part of bullet journaling. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be a gorgeous art piece. It needs to be functional. I like trying to make it look pretty, but sometimes you don't have the time for that, like me this month. The past few weeks have been very stressful in both bad and good ways. About a week ago, my parents' cat passed away, which was very difficult for me because we had him for 16 years. And he was the first cat that I got to pick up as a kitten, and I grew up with him, so it was just sad. If you've ever lost a pet, you know what it's like. I also started taking a new class for grad school, and there has been an issue with the professor that has taken over a large portion of what would otherwise be my free time. And it was such a small thing that escalated so quickly because she refused to communicate and answer what I asked to be clarified. And instead of speaking to me, she told my advisor that I was having a communication problem, and my advisor just sent me to the dean, who is conveniently out of office. I just wanted to clarify what I needed to do for future assignments that don't include directions, but apparently asking for clarification at this school means you have a communication problem. It's a whole mess that still hasn't been resolved after over a week. And now something happy, but still a little stressful. This week my boyfriend and I found out that we were approved to adopt the cat we had applied for, and we are picking him up this weekend, and we are so excited. But we also have been trying to kitty-proof everything, just trying to make sure there's nothing he can get into laying around and nothing breakable where he could jump and knock things over. We also bought him lots of toys. We got his food and litter and everything. So we are all set for our little guy. So with everything going on, I really just needed this month to be simple and useful to me for keeping track of assignments, jotting down thoughts so I don't forget what is going on, and just keeping up with the changes life throws at us. So my theme is kind of mountains, inspired by my testing water brush pens video. If you haven't seen that yet, I'll link it above. My boyfriend's sister loved the prints we ended up making out of those paintings, by the way. But for this, I went very simple, just triangle shapes. I just have the calendar and the place for my monthly photo. I also used a few stickers that I usually use for scrapbooking that were travel related that I felt fit with the theme. Then for the first week, because I just needed space to write things down, all I did was make some watercolor blocks of color on the page. If you're not someone who considers themselves artistic, try something like this. The messier it looks, the better an effect you get. Like I said before, it doesn't have to be fancy. I think people get discouraged from trying bullet journaling because they sometimes see elaborate setups. It doesn't need to be that way. My next layout was also a little easier to put together. I sectioned off an area at the top to have the mountains, and then made 6 rows, one for each of the 5 work days, and then one for the weekend. If you have more things going on the weekend, you can adjust the number of boxes. I tested this way of setting up my weeks at the end of last month, and it is working well for the time being. What works well one month does not always seem to be what I feel will work for me the next month. You have to do what's best for you. And if you are observant, you will notice that I dated these ones incorrectly. I ended up fixing this off camera, but I wanted to point it out before anyone else did. I'm not perfect. Bullet journaling doesn't have to be perfect. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!